Hello friends, welcome to wisdomjobs.com. This is Prithvi Reddy. I am going to discuss the current affairs from the date 24th January 2020. Coming to the first news item, ILO, International Labour Organization, has released World Employment and Social Outlook Trends of 2020. So in the examination they may ask you the question, the World Employment and Social Outlook Trends of 2020 is released by. Okay, the answer would be International Labour Organization. So the report highlights that the global unemployment will rise by 2.5 million in 2020 because the reasons would be the growth slowdown across the world, and not only that, the fourth industrial revolution, which is utilizing more advanced technologies and web-based technologies and robotics, automation. So all are having an impact over the unemployment rate across the world. So about 188 million people are unemployed and not getting any work according to their skills and abilities. So this is the problem. And around 267 million people who are aged between 15 to 24, so are not employed, in the employment and training or education. So it means definitely the dividend of this young age is not going to be utilized. So what is the situation in India? So coming to India, the economic growth in India and China in the past 13 years, actually if you take the economic growth of India between 2004 to 2008, the economic growth averaged more than 8%. So in that period, it has created a lot of employment in India. So that's why in the past 80 years, it has caused the global inequality to reduce. It means if the developing countries are able to accommodate more people in the employment, certainly, definitely the poor people generally predominantly present in the developing countries. Certainly that could reduce the global inequality. So that has happened because of the economic growth in India and China. So the gender gap in the wages of labor is more in the South Asian countries, so compared to the Western countries. So in the South Asian countries, it is about 40%, whereas in the developed countries, it is just only 15%. So what is the gender gap? Gender gap is nothing but the women are actually underpaid compared to the men. So that is what the gender gap in the wages. Coming to what is ILO? What is the International Labour Organization? The ILO is a United Nations agency. It is a part of United Nations and whose mandate to advance social justice and promote decent work by setting international labour standards. So it acts as a mouthpiece for the labour organizations across the world. So it was the first specialized agency of the UN, and ILO has 187 member states. And ILO has a peculiar structure called a tripartite structure. It means in the International Labour Organization, only the governments are not represented. Along with the governments, actually the employees and other labour unions are also represented. So that's why we can call it as a tripartite structure. Coming to the next current affair, Mitra, that is ISRO's experimental mission of Gaganyaan. Actually, coming to ISRO has introduced Mitra at human space flight and exploration, present challenges and future trends. So which was a seminar which was conducted in the Bangalore. So in that, it has introduced Mitra. So Mitra is nothing but it is a humanoid robot. It means semi-humanoid robot. And we will discuss what is humanoid robot in the next slide. So the robot is to fly in two unmanned missions that are planned in the December 2020 and June 2021. So initially there will be unmanned missions, later there will be manned mission as a part of Gaganyaan mission. And the Mitra will be the first Indian woman to ride to space. Actually, it is the robot, so having a female gender. So it means the human looking robot does not have legs and can only move sideward and forward. So it means it is not that mobile compared to the other humanoid robots. So she can detect and give warnings of environmental changes within the cabin and get uncomfortable with the astronauts and change the air condition. So and she can take up postures suited for the launch and tasks and take the commands. So it means it is a robot which is going to help the human missions, because it can talk to the human astronauts, and not only that, she can also give the advices and she can answer any question pertaining to the changes in the cabin. So in that way, it is going to assist the human astronauts by using its artificial intelligence. So it can also give the timely advice as far as the space mission is concerned. And coming to the human flight program of India, so it is nothing but Gaganyaan mission. So ISRO aims to launch the maiden human Gaganyaan mission. It means maiden means it is for the first time India is going to send the human beings to the space. So before the 70th anniversary of India's independence in the year 2022. So the if we look into the objectives of the mission, first one is the enhancement of the science and technology levels in the country. Definitely it will infuse a sort of scientific temper into the society, because it was the aspiration of the erstwhile Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the vocal support of the inculcating the scientific values into the Indian society. A national project involving the several institutes and academia and industry. Definitely all the industries will be converged. Their thoughts and their advices, their efforts will be converged to give this mission to become successful. And the improvement of the industrial growth, definitely. So in one way or the other way, if you are investing more upon the artificial intelligence and other sophisticated technologies, certainly the industrial improvements can happen. And inspiring youth, definitely. And the development of technology for the social benefits, and including that improvement in the international collaboration. Definitely India is collaborating with Russia and other advanced countries, so that the scientific mission becomes a converging point for the ideas and interests of the developing and developed countries. Coming to the next question, what is humanoid robot? Humanoid robot is a robot with its body shape built to resemble the human body. So in this way it will resemble the human being. So the design may be for functional purposes such as interacting with the human tools and environment, for the experimental purposes such as study of bipedal locomotion, or for the other purposes. And in general, human robots have a torso, head and two arms along with the two legs, and though some form of humanoid robots may be a model only part of the body. For example, from the waist up. So in this way you can call it as a semi-humanoid robot. So it may be having only particular part of the resemblance only with respect to particular part of the robot. So it means in toto the robot may not be reflecting or resembling the complete human being. So this is not a complete humanoid robot. So our Mitra is not a complete humanoid robot. So, and important fact is, androids are the humanoid robots built to aesthetically resemble the humans. So these robots are called android robots. Next important news item, India launched the country's latest plan to phase out the key refrigerant that is called hydrochlorofluorocarbon. So it means these are nothing but ozone depleting substances, because these are having the active chlorine and fluorine, and these halogens have the capacity to degrade by the free radical reaction, and they can degrade the ozone layer which is situated in the stratosphere of the atmosphere. So the fresh plan is made for the period of 2017 to 23 period. Actually this is phase 2. Already phase 1 got successfully completed. This comes under the phase 2. So the final goal is to phase out consumption and manufacturing of the ozone depleting refrigerant under an accelerated plan by the 2030. Actually the Montreal Protocol tries to put an full stop for the production of the ODS by the year 2020. So joining hands with the Montreal Protocol, India has started its mission. And the HCFC, what is the utility of the HCFC? So the HCFC is actually used in the refrigerating and air conditioning and foam manufacturing. So in these areas we are going to introduce some alternative chemicals for the synthesis. So under the Montreal Protocol, the accelerated phase out of hydrochlorofluorocarbons is underway, with an aim to complete phase out by 2030 of these chemicals that result in the ozone depletion and which also cause an global warming. So there are certain fluorocarbons which have the ability not only to degrade the ozone layer, but also they can also increase the global temperatures. So coming to what is the Montreal Protocol. The Montreal Protocol seeks to cut the production, consumption of ozone depleting substances in order to protect the Earth's fragile ozone layer. So let us come to know what is ozone layer. And it also aims to phase out HCFCs by year 2030. Accordingly, India also planned. It came into force in the year 1989 and has been ratified by the 197 parties. So making it universally ratified protocol in the UN history. So this is one of the game-changing protocol and very much successfully running protocol, because all the countries are having an equal interest and equal efforts with respect to the reduction of the ozone depleting substances. It is also highly successful in the international agreement. You know, this is one of the landmark in the international agreement which has seen a lot of success, and it has phased out more than 95% of the ODS so far as per its main mandate, and in less than 30 years of its existence. Within 30 years of its existence, it has reduced the ODS by 95%. Certainly, you can understand this Montreal Protocol can act as a template for the Paris Climate Deal, because the Paris Climate Deal also can follow the suit which is established by the path which is shown by the Montreal Protocol. Coming to what is ozone layer. So a layer of ozone envelops the earth and keeps the damaging ultraviolet radiation from reaching living things on the planet's surface, because it will act as a filter whereby it will pass only non-harmful UV rays, but it will actually obstruct the flow of harmful UV rays. So actually it is located mainly in the stratosphere. It is a layer of the atmosphere that reaches 10 to 50 kilometers, and that is about 6 to 30 miles above the earth's surface. So this is the location of the ozone layer. Coming to what is ozone hole. Ozone hole is the region of the depleted layers of ozone above the Antarctic region, and whose creation is linked to the increased cases of the skin cancers. Because it contains harmful UV rays, it has the capacity to impair the DNA repairing process, whereby it can cause the skin cancers. And the manufactured chemicals deplete the ozone layer. So each spring, it means in the spring season especially, the Antarctica atmosphere is actually very much vulnerable for the depletion of the ozone due to the chemical processes. So this creates ozone hole, and which occurs because of certain meteorological and chemical conditions that exist in the region. Defense Ministry approves the procurement of the hardware. So because the hardware is very much important for the sustenance of defense operations, so that is the reason why the Defense Acquisition Council approved the procurement of the defense equipment, which is the worth of 5,100 crores. So the equipment are to be purchased from the indigenous sources, because we have to go for the indigenization of the defense procurement, because we are investing so much amount on the import of the defense equipment from the other countries. So if we try to increase the indigenous production of the defense manufacturing, so definitely what happen, we will be able to save the precious foreign exchange reserves. And the DAC also, the Defense Acquisition Council also approved the shortlisting of Indian strategic partner and the potential equipment manufacturer that would collaborate with the 6 conventional submarines in India. So it means it is trying to increase the submarine production by joining the hands with the foreign producers. So on the other hand, India also wants to encourage its own private sector to do this. The council also approved the inclusion of the IDEX. IDEX is nothing but Innovation Defense Excellence. This is very, very important. So the question may come in the examination to expand the word IDEX. IDEX is nothing but Innovations Defense Excellence. So in the defense procurement exercise. And what is IDEX? So coming to the IDEX, IDEX was launched in the year 2018 to foster the technology development in the defense and aerospace. So it was founded by the HAL and Bell. Coming to Defense Acquisition Council. So the Defense Acquisition Council is the highest decision making body in the Defense Ministry for deciding on new policies and capital acquisitions for the 3 services that include Army, Navy and Air Force. In the Defense Acquisition Council, the newly created CDS is also a member, and the Minister of Defense is the chairman of the Defense Acquisition Council. It was when it was formed after the Kargil War, because at that point of time they recognized the lacunae in the defense procurement process. So that's why they created this body So after the group of ministers recommended reforming the national security system. Thank you friends, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to wisdomjobs.com.